Page 65. All prophets are strengthened with the true love for you and all people of your kind or human beings, and by the power of their knowledge and wisdom, as well as by following the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, through which they possess the capability and talent achieved through their own efforts, without self-interest and in open modesty, to teach you and all people in their teaching and in the truth of the laws and recommendations of the origination or creation. And if it were given by the power of the prophets and by your rationality and acceptance of the truth teaching, then you would never have fought with one another, never have killed or murdered one another, not waged any battles or wars, and not caused any destruction. At all times the prophets taught true love amongst you, as well as freedom, peace, and consonance or harmony, so that gladness and coexistence may be given. And they gave signs or marvels of the might of their inner world or consciousness, but they were condemned as evil illusions or absurdities and sorcery, but were not recognized as the truth which they served for. But there were some amongst you who saw the signs or marvels, who were at odds in consideration or assessment, or who assessed the signs or marvels of the prophets to be an illumination of belief or proof of belief in a god or tin gods. But it was always in the will of the prophets to continue teaching the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, steadfastly, as if it had been in their power. And if it had been in their power, then the prophets would have ended all evil amongst you themselves, so that you would never have fought with one another. But since time immemorial you have feuded with one another, and committed outrages on one another, involving hatred and jealousy, and greed for wealth and might, therefore you kill or murder and destroy for this, and conduct battles or wars, and this has continued up to the present day. But the prophets remain undismayed and carry out what they have already started, even in Nokodemion's time. But you lay hatred and slander or calumny against them, and you strive to take their life, so that they shall be prevented from bringing the truth teaching in order to show or reveal to you and the peoples the way to the real truth and love, and to freedom and consonance or harmony, and therefore to peace amongst everyone. You, however, who are knowing in the truth teaching of the proclaimers, the prophets, donate to those who are searching for the truth from what the proclaimers, the prophets, have bestowed on you in the sense of the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life. Donate from your knowledge that you have learned from them, and continue to learn, so that many will become knowing in the truth of the origination or creation, and its laws and recommendations, before a day dawns on which the truth teaching can no longer be passed on. Donate your truthly knowledge before the day dawns on which no buying and selling and neither intercession nor friendship are worth anything any more, when those who persist in the untruth and in the inequity or unfairness inflict harm on themselves in life and in all things. Creation. There is no truth except for the laws and recommendations proceeding from creation, from the vitality of its being, from the itself being, all preserving. Creation is true life, and it too was seized by slumber before its presence or existence, as is immanent in all life, and therefore it will fall back into slumber again after a very long time, or 311,040,000,000,000 years, in order to become truth in new life or reincarnation, as new creational form. All things existing on the earths or worlds/planets, and in the firmaments or universe, is the act or work of the creation, and its being is spiritual primal power, which is also given as a minuscule part in your inner world or consciousness. And your inner world or consciousness can be called on by you in intercession in order to improve yourselves through your own strivings in all virtues and in the character, as well as in the individual being or personality, and the conduct or behavior. However, the inner world or consciousness cannot be asked for worldly help and things of value and the like, nor can they be obtained from it, just as this cannot be requested from any invented god or tin gods either. And you may speak to, intercede with, and call on your spirit, or prayer to your own spirit, or directly to the consciousness, but your speaking and calling will be perceived by your inner world or consciousness, through which your swelling or evolution is given when you strive for this knowingly and wisely. Your inner world or consciousness is knowing in many things, but you do not want to understand anything of its knowledge except what appeals to you and gives you mirth in festivities, pleasures, and amusements. There shall not be any coercion in the knowledge about the truth and the truth teaching, but, nevertheless, it shall be clearly distinguishable in all things, in the sense of right and unright, so that no one lets himself or herself be guided or led by the malefactors or lawbreakers who curse the truth and disregard it. Therefore, may everyone who is searching for the truth have a strong head or rationality that knows no breaking, in order to decide knowingly and willingly between the coercion to a belief or the freedom of the knowledge of the truth and the truth teaching. The real truth stands at all times in good friendship with those who are knowing of the truth, and continuously leads them from every twilight into light. Those, however, who are caught up in a belief in a god or tin gods, and are malefactors, or irresponsible ones, against the truth of the creation and its laws and recommendations, and in the teaching of the proclaimers, the prophets, to them the truth and the truth teaching is open, so that they may learn and find the way to true life. And if the malefactors against the truth believe themselves to be enemies of those who are knowing of the truth, then those who have knowledge of the truth are not their enemies, because truly they are always striving to lead those committing an outrage against the truth out of the darkness of their unknowledgeness and into the light of the truth in friendship, so that they do not have to remain in the fire of unknowledgeness. No one who is knowing of the truth dares to dispute the truth and the truth teaching of the laws and recommendations of the creation, as has been given by the proclaimers, the prophets, since time immemorial, through their own power and their own efforts. Those who are knowing of the truth have created the cognition of the truth in themselves through the teaching of the proclaimers, the prophets, and their teaching of the truth, teaching of the Spirit, teaching of the life, and have given themselves the opportunity to lead their present existence in accordance with the true laws and recommendations of the creation. The real truth of the laws and recommendations of the creation is bringing forth life in the right measure and not killing or murdering, as you people of your kind, or human beings, shall bring forth life in the right measure, or begetting offspring in the right measure, and not kill or murder. However, if you contravene the recommendation, and bring forth life beyond the right measure, and you also kill or murder in ausartam, then you are ones without equitableness, or unfair ones, inequitable ones, irresponsible ones, and you are casting yourselves into hardship and evil and misery. If you kill or murder life and destroy things of the people of your kind or human beings, then they cannot be given back, because you do not have the might to do so, just as you do not have the might to bring forth once more or rebuild in the same wise and with the same form the things that you have destroyed. Every killed or murdered life escapes from the body and cannot return, because a return is only given for the form of the spirit, which escapes into the realm of the invisible, or other world / death life, and is reborn when the time for a new inner world or consciousness and for a new individual being or personality has come, without equivalence, with the deceased inner world or consciousness, or to the deceased individual being or personality. And the truth of the return of the spirit in a new person of your kind, or human being / new consciousness, new all of yourself, or personality and new material body, after the preceding person of your kind or human being has died, may be for you a sign or evidence of the truth of the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of the truth or creation. And it is through the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of the truth that living and dying and death, and therefore the return of the spirit in a new body of a new person of your kind or human being, are possible, just as everything is possible, and nothing is impossible which originates from the might of the laws and recommendations. And consider, there is neither a god, nor tin gods, nor people of your kind or human beings, and demons, or either liberators or angels, and venerable ones or holy ones, who can reanimate a dead person or deceased person, because when someone dies, the spirit escapes into the realm of the invisibility or other world, and cannot return to the deceased body, because this is irreversibly connected to death. Be certain, or knowing, that if you give your goods and chattels and wealth from your strong box or savings, and alms or gifts, in an appropriate measure, for the purpose of the truth, without harming yourselves in these things, then you are the same as a seed of corn that grows 7 ears, and has 100 grains in every ear, because in this wise you multiply the teaching of the truth through your gifts for every one who spreads it, and also for those who want to recognize it and be connected to it, and make donations according to your sense and whatever is right for you. Then you are gracious to the knowing ones who are searching for the truth, and to those who are in need of alms or gifts. But do not give your goods and chattels and alms or gifts from your wealth, from the strong box or savings, if in your giving you are following with reproach or contempt or insult / outrage, for which you will not find any good reward. And the fear will come over you, as well as the shame rising in your face, and sorrow will befall you on the day of the impulsation of admonishment or conscience. If you give a gracious word, and give forgiveness in honesty, then that is better than a present given in dishonorableness, intended to bring reconciliation. A good word and a respectfully presented forgiveness are given in honesty, but a present is commonplace or impersonal and valueless, without a word of kind-heartedness and forgiveness, because no matter how excessive or expensive / precious the present may be, it is nevertheless no more than an honorless giving of alms for false reconciliation. A true and good word and honorable forgiveness are evidence of forbearance and one's own contentment or modesty, as well as of peaceableness. An unhonest present for reconciliation gives rise to contempt or insult/outrage, both in the one who gives it and in the one who takes it, with enmity and hatred originating therefrom. And if you give alms, do not make yourselves conceited with your giving by allowing contempt or insult/outrage and reproach to prevail by reviling those to whom the alms are intended. Therefore do not donate in the sense of being wealthy, so that people of your kind or human beings see it, because you want to show off, or vaunt yourselves/boast/brag, and believe that you are placed above or superior to those to whom you are giving alms. But if you do not comply with this recommendation and act against it, then you will be the same as a smooth rock covered with loose soil upon which a heavy downpour of rain falls, thereby revealing its smoothness and hardness. And if this is done, then nothing of significance or merit will be carried away, because the people of your kind or human beings do not like those who are without equitableness, or unfair ones/irresponsible ones, and who raise themselves above them and demean them with unhonest and calculating almsgiving. And those among you who give your goods and chattels and your wealth in striving for the delight of a god or tin gods invented by yourselves, as well as for the desire or lust/comfortable feeling of one of your kind or human being, a liberator or angel or venerable one or holy one or a demon, then you will still not receive any strengthening, but will suffer loss because you are building your house on sand, which will be blown away by a strong wind, leading to the collapse of the house. And if you build on sand, then you lose twofold, namely your goods and chattels, and your wealth as well as your honor and dignity, because your loss gives rise to malicious gossip. In the sense of your knowledge of the truth teaching, the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, create for yourselves a large garden with vegetables, plants, trees, and shrubs, which are full of the fruits of wisdom and love, peace, freedom, and consonance or harmony. Make sure that no weak offspring arise from the seeds, but that love and knowledge and wisdom multiply in you. Do not allow any fiery whirlwind to blow through your garden of your love and of knowledge, as well as of wisdom, so that everything which you have arduously acquired through your learning will not be scorched. Take heed and follow the recommendation, so that you do not fall back into unknowledgeness. Donate from all the good things that you have acquired and acquire, and from all that which is brought forth to you through the earth, so that no one might suffer in need. Give alms or gifts, and good things according to your wealth, but do not search out the poor things for this, that you would yourselves not take. Turn a blind eye when giving alms and good things for the needy, so that you will not be overwhelmed by stinginess, and so that you do rightfully, and consider the one who is self-sufficient is the dignified one, and will be treated with esteem. It is only your stinginess and your foolishness that warn you against poverty, and command you to do shameful things if you sadden and torment yourselves about alms and good gifts that you shall give. Be rightfully frugal or modest, and do not hoard goods and chattels and possessions and wealth for the sake of might, but do it for the sake of right, in order to help the needy who require your assistance, alms, and good things. Also, be respectful to the poor and needy, and give them alms and good things in right measure according to your wealth and possessions, and when doing so consider that you will not be able to take one thing to the realm of the invisible, or other world / death life, from all that which you have gathered together in terms of goods and chattels and possessions and wealth, because there are no pockets in which you could take anything with you. If you have a woman or a man or offspring when you die, then whilst you are still living, divide up your goods and chattels, your possessions and wealth, through an apportionment or testament, set in writing, so that after your passing, everything will be regulated, and everyone will receive the portion that is intended for him or her. Consider that the apportionment or testament shall be rightful and equitable or fair. Therefore it shall be, that when there are sons and daughters, that the surviving woman or the surviving man shall receive 2/3 of the goods and chattels, possessions, and wealth, and the third portion shall be shared equally between the surviving sons and daughters. And if the woman or the man survives and there are no offspring, then the surviving woman or man shall receive all of the goods and chattels, as well as all of the possessions and wealth. And it shall not be the case that a surviving woman, a surviving man, or surviving children shall be deprived of their due portion, or inheritance, because of disputes and the like. And if there is no apportionment or testament set down in writing, then the jurisdiction is to decide on the distribution in accordance with the sense of the recommendation, as the recommendation is given. If an offspring, daughter or son, dies who is not in a bond of marriage and does not have any offspring, then his or her goods and chattels, possessions and wealth shall revert to the parents. If a woman or a man dies and neither a woman nor a man nor offspring are left surviving, then a written apportionment or testament shall be given as to how the goods and chattels, possessions, and wealth shall be used. If, however, there is no apportionment or testament, then all the possessions, or the whole inheritance, fall to the people and are administered by the authority. Impart to those from your knowledge and from your wisdom who ask about them and want them. And if you impart to those who want your knowledge and your wisdom, then you are truly giving rich goods. And everyone will think about them in honor and use their understanding in order to comprehend them. Whatever you may give, and whatever vow you may make to help other people and to teach them the truth, it will be repaid 1,000 times over by those who esteem your help and your knowledge and your wisdom. If you give alms publicly and do good deeds, this is certainly good and meritorious. But if you do it in secret and thereby help the poor and needy, then that is better and more honorable for you, because what you do secretly in this wise shows your modesty and kind-heartedness, which you do not want to display before the people in order to shine before them and be praised by them.